Morning.
Good morning.
Morning. How are we doing?
Fantastic.
Good. Right, are we connected? Yep. Can you open a Facebook window on there? I don't think the chat comes up on here. So, Richie and Steve, RS Property Development Services.
Yes. Good morning.
How are we?
Good, mate.
I wanted to get on this morning and share your journey on this property you just purchased. This has been triggered by the fact that you're going to complete today on this property.
Finally.
One that you had an offer accepted on the day of lockdown, which was a bit fucking shit timing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you've endured it. You've been persistent and been patient with that purchase. And I just wanted to talk to you about it, how it made you feel and what your experiences were on that journey. Just tell us a bit about yourselves and a bit about your business.
So yeah, like my name's Richie Buckworth. I run our property development services with Steven. My background is I'm a health and safety consultant for the construction industry, both onshore and offshore. I've known Steven for over 20 years now. Steven's been in property before, which he'll tell you about in a minute. So we both attended a property training course and decided to go into business together. We both have opposite strengths and weaknesses, so it makes us a good team. We both like doing different things as well, so we don't have to argue and debate over stuff. We just do our own thing, both for the company, so it works very well.
That's debatable. I have a few. We've had a few.
Tell us about that.
I think we've had one debate, one major debate in the 2 years we've been going, so it's not too bad. And I wouldn't say it was major. Like you say, like a bit like our last, Steve knows when to shut up. So
what I won't say is I won't say cracks are starting to appear anymore. That was like a red rag to a bull when I said that. So I won't say that.
Yeah. No, it's good. So how did you find forming? You were friends before you went into business, right?
Yeah, we've known each other for a while.
How did you find that transition, going from being buddies from the same town into business?
We were more like we've hung around in the same circles for a long time rather than being best mates. You know what I mean? So it was obviously there was groups of people going out. Then I'd see Steve. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't like we were in each other's pockets, if you like, before we started business. So I think that works quite well. But we were just saying the other day, I mean, obviously when you're doing these mortgages and deal sourcing with people like Lisa, and you're putting a lot of private information over. Steve knows more about me than anyone else. There's got to be a level of trust there, which we probably didn't realise at the beginning.
So do I after this morning's photo you sent.
He's seen, to be fair, when we started, I quickly seen qualities in Richie, and I think he's seen things in me. He likes doing stuff that I don't like doing, and I like doing stuff that he doesn't like doing. Like he likes messing about with his Excel shit and all that, and I don't. So
spreadsheet king.
I like getting out there. Like I like speaking to investors, and Richie doesn't. So it works well.
That's so important, though, in a partnership, isn't it? To have them contrasting personalities and contrasting skills. You know, it wouldn't do you both to be the same. You know, if you both like spreadsheets and neither of you liked investors, would you?
I think I'd struggle on my own. To be fair, I did struggle with my job working away for 20 years, and I've had buy-to-lets for over 10 years, but I only had 4 up until I started the business with Richie. I did struggle. I did find it hard. I found it hard. I know people say you still can do stuff when you're away, but it is hard because it slows down. It's granted it's going to slow down when you're in a different country. It's worked well.
Oh, that's good. So let's bring it back to this development, this property you've just bought. That's what we're here to discuss. So tell us about when you first put that offer in way back when. It must be, 8 weeks ago now? And they just to bring anybody that's watching into the picture, there was a property that the Richie and Steve fancied a stab at that was on the market at 125,000. Richie and Steve's deal sourcing services, headed up by Elisa, this one, and secured that property for 95. Am I right?
95. We got it. So yeah, 95. Was it 125 or 135? It was for Lisa. I can't remember now.
125. Yeah. So you got it 30 grand below market value straight away.
Yeah.
Heavy refurb, which they're going to use our construction business to undertake. So all the plans and everything, all the infrastructure that they had that are needed to do that project is all in place and all ready for them. And we're really looking forward to starting it, which starts this Monday coming. But what I wanted to talk about is them 8 weeks and how you managed to stay so persistent and patient during that time. You know, we're under so much pressure from social media, people saying that the property market's going to crash. And there must have been points where you said, oh, fuck, we're going to have to fucking bow out of this because, you know, what if the market crashes and it's only worth 20 grand when we come out of this lockdown? You must have had them thoughts. And how did you overcome them thoughts?
So just number crunching, really. So obviously we've got our investors. So we've used investors' money to buy the property. Yeah. So obviously they get a return on investment. Rather than offering them a set figure, we offered them a profit-based return on investment.
Well, that's interesting. Just jump into that, mate. Tell people about that. How you managed to do that? Because I see a lot of, invest 100,000 and get 10% on your money and all that. You haven't done that, have you, on this?
Yeah. So I mean, luckily, me and Steve, we've both got good careers. We both worked offshore before, so we've got a little bit of money to back things up. We're not buying. We're not getting loans, and we're not putting our property in debt. It's profit based. We don't need to go out and borrow loads of money. So we decided that this project was going to be good for marketing. So we've done a few little buy-to-lets. We've done a JV with another property company, which is a buy-to-let as well. But this is something big for ourselves. So we're going to market it. We're going to brand our company, obviously, around this project. Do a lot of videos, a lot of reporting on social media. So yes, it's about money because we're a business, but it's also about showing people what we can do. So that was a big part of it. So it gave us a good margin. I mean, you've seen the figures. I mean, 90 grand build spend, 95 grand on the build. We're looking around 250. We have looked at some properties with Lisa in the area that are going for more, so we could potentially get more. So there's a lot of money in it. Yeah,
there's buildings a stone throw from ours that are like, what wasn't the one for like 400? Yeah.
It was 2 for 440,000.
Yeah. So we just don't know where this is going to go. But worst case scenario is if you're looking at it's 250. Yeah, we could decide if you want a very quick sale. Yeah, to get the money back, do for 230 and snap our hands off. Now I think all in all, just quick math with investors' money and everything, I think we're about 207. That's legal fees, exit fee, everything, interest, development interest, a lot. Do you know what I mean? It's going to go for that. You could sell it for that tomorrow. Yeah. So
potentially, you're set to make 43,000 from doing very little work yourselves, apart from the risk. Yeah.
Yeah. So we can, apart from obviously the risk, and obviously we're looking at other things like CGI, so we can maybe get CGI in place and maybe sell the property before it's even developed. But there's a big cushion there. So what we went to our investors and offered them a certain percentage at top rate. So if we sell it for X amount, top rate, you will get this percentage, which is way over and above the 1% a month.
And that's one of your real strengths, that, Richie. It always impresses me how you're able to do that, to look at a deal and analyse it in your head like that so quickly. I have to get this out, my crayons.
He's unbelievable.
I need it all. Yeah. You know,
I actually said last night to him, I said, listen, if he mentions anything to do with figures, I said, I'll just put my head down. I said, I'm lucky.
But again,
he doesn't have to have it written down. It's all in his head.
Yeah.
But we've got a limit. Obviously, we didn't want to drop down too much because then it wouldn't be interesting. So we said to him, look, if we don't sell it for what we want and it drops down, we'll still guarantee you a minimum percentage on your return. Yeah. Now, if it drops below that, then out of our 30 grand profit or whatever it is, we will decrease that rather than decrease the investors. So we're taking a bit of risk on it as well. Obviously, we don't want to, but if we sell it for 207, say, we don't make a penny, we're still going to market it. That's not what we're in business to do, but that's a hell of a cushion. I mean, I seen a report of a financial guy on Facebook to say the market is going to drop 13% guaranteed. I mean, you see all sorts of stuff on Facebook, but even if that happens, we will still make about 15 grand, 12 grand. And all our investors will get paid.
Strategy, I think
we're not concerned.
What we've also thought is that's not your standard. I mean, the area that's in private school, you'd like to think the type of people that are going to be buying the house, they're not going to be affected by COVID. So
Yeah.
that was another thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a heritage area. There's a sought after school that people are trying to get in and can't get into. Do you know what I mean? It's ideal for a young family. It's probably one of your questions of what we're doing with it. Obviously, at the minute, it has been one commercial unit and 2 dwellings. We're going to obviously put it into one property now, so it's going to be a high-end 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, cellar property for a family in that area. So a nice, well-to-do family can move in there. They've got the sought after school. That obviously they'll be in that catchment area. It's just ideal. Like you say, we're looking at CGI at the minute, so potentially get it sold before we even complete. So,
I mean, the other thing about this property is actually grade 2 listed, isn't it? And that hasn't deterred you from being involved, which is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, that often creates people to shy away, but actually you just embrace that. You're making features, and I think, you know, to have that level of confidence and then to be restoring things is just fantastic.
It helps with the fact that we're working with you guys as well, because I remember the first time we went in, and that was the first thing Paul did, was pointed out what has to be left. And I'll be honest, that didn't even enter my head because I was too excited when I got in. I was just looking at but yeah, obviously that type of thing helps working with you guys, takes the pressure off us a bit.
Yeah, massively. Like so I say, I mean, although we're sort of not employing you, it sounds wrong, but we're the client at the end of the day. In the structure of it, you're sort of mentoring us on that as well, which is brilliant. Do you know what I mean? The information, the content, the stuff that you guys give us is just phenomenal. Yeah,
it helps being friendly. Like we're not just working your actual clash as friends, so that's massive for us as well.
Yeah.
Have we decided? Yeah. Is that a definite state? Have we decided that yet? We call them friends, yeah.
Hey, you put that at risk this morning, Richie. I tell you what.
Yeah. Let's leave that.
Yeah, he came on this morning topless, nipples out the lot. Go away and get dressed.
Right. Let's keep it nice. I've got to send this. My parents want to see the recording of this, so let's keep it professional.
No, it's really good.
No, but back to your obviously your question was about persistence and stuff.
Yeah, it was.
We haven't let go with solicitors and our mortgage broker. I mean, we use Chris Adlam. It's phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? Again, like you guys, we've got a WhatsApp group going, and we WhatsApp him and get him involved, and we'll come up with an idea like we do with you guys, and you'll be guys, yeah, what about this? What about that? Because your knowledge and experience, and it all gets turned. I mean, originally we were going to be looking for the build cost with investors. We've managed now to use our power team in Chris and his company too. We're going to go development finance, so we're going to borrow on the building now. We wouldn't have. I mean, we wouldn't have even looked at that. So we've done that. It's cheaper as well. So the figures we worked out originally to borrow the full amount, the 190 odd, 80 odd, we've actually chipped on the interest rates there as well. So we're not going to be spending as much. So it's all about having people around you. We discussed something the other day where we saved money straight away regarding the doors. Do you know what I mean? We wouldn't even thought of that. So we just because we've got figures in our head, and every day there's a little bit more coming off, and that's better for us. It's better for us. It's better for our investors. It reduces the risk, and that's about having the right people around you. Yeah.
So what did it take let's say from you, Steve? What did it take to take you guys from a 70 grand development, which is what you become accustomed to in Redcar and all the rest of it, to make that jump from that £250,000 project? What was it that happened? Was it a trigger that made you go, right, you can go to that next level and do that big project?
I'll tell you what, and this seems like it's a setup, you asking us this, and it isn't. I was actually thinking about this last night. It was actually Cam. Like, when we did the course with Cam and then we took his mentorship up, and it was him that said, like, because we were a bit, 100 grand investment. And he was like, fucking, why not? Like, fucking, why not? And then we were like, yeah, fucking, why not? Like, honestly, it was as simple as that. Like, we thought it was a little bit going from a buy-to-let to that. Is it a bit of a big jump? But I was actually, it's almost like it's a setup. You asking me that question. I was thinking that last night.
Yeah, we attended attended your
as well, but it was Cam saying, "Fuck that, do it, get back, get the property, then worry about getting the money." And which is
we attended your course and ended up sat on the table with Cam, and just hit it off straight away. Now, whether you put us next to him or he has to be next to us, I don't know. Don't really care. But literally from the second we sat next to him, we just started having a laugh and talking and.
Yeah, Cam just be next to you.
Yeah, he probably regrets it now.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he made a mistake of giving me his mobile number, and he made a mistake of adding us on Facebook. So we just ploughed loads of messages into him. Like I say, you work closely with Cam, a very knowledgeable guy when it comes to the finance side and the property side of things. So, but no, it's mad. Everything happens for a reason. Yeah. I remember when obviously I was meant to be on a course for you guys, and unfortunately I ended up in hospital, and it never happened. And obviously Steve was talking about you then. Oh, there's this guy on our group construction, bit of a club shite. But now he's like very knowledgeable, blah blah. And then I was saying for months after that, we need to work with him. I am going to work with him. I'm selling a couple of my mates who've done the training as well. I'd love to work with Paul. And here we are now. Do you know what I mean? We're about to do a £250,000 project together. We're already looking at other things which we were on about last night, which is more or less identical in cost to what we're doing. So everything happens for a reason. Massively.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds
100%.
like you've got a good structure. You know, you've got a team behind you that's raising your finance in Chris and Cam, and then you've got a build team on site in the area in which you choose to invest. So you're pretty much just make it happen, you lot. You know, and I'm going to sit here and take the cream at the end, and give a good return for our investors. What more can you ask for, really?
Yeah.
So you've talked about how you built them relationships with them people, with Cam, Chris, and us. Tell us a bit more about how it affects sort of you and your home life. I know working away is going to impact on that, but what do your partners think of it? What do your wives think of when you're talking about £250,000 jobs and they don't know who we are, they don't know who Cam is, they don't know Chris is? Is that a challenge
I honestly don't speak about it a lot. This is another thing we spoke about last night. It's mad because it looks like we're setting these questions up, but we aren't. I don't speak to our lass much about it. I don't. Just little snippets. I never have with work, and I never have working away. Anything I've ever done work-wise, I don't really bombard.
See, I used to a lot. I was quite bad with it at one point because, like I say, I've done very well for myself in the last 10 years, but it was a struggle up to that point. And I obviously getting in the property stuff. I was my aunties, my uncles, family, friends, mum, dad, everyone. Just this is what we're talking about. This is what we're doing, and like even deals that were looking good but never went through because it's not all roses. You know what I mean? We don't get everything that we go through. There's a lot of things that we get to a point. We do the due diligence, and figures don't work, etc. You know what I mean? And I was telling about everything. And it wasn't until last night we were talking, and I've just stopped. So we've got a few things going on with yourself, with this project and the PMX and stuff. I've not even mentioned it to all us. It wasn't until last night I said I've stopped talking about it. The proof is in the action. The proof is in the products, isn't it? When they see the properties going up, when it's on Facebook and these newsletters we do. For me, that's more important. I'd rather show someone something solid rather than if buts or maybes. You know what I mean? We've got literally loads going on in the background at the minute, but nobody knows about it.
I mean, as you know, this is probably, it is going to be my last trip away, so fuck it, I'll be giving it a go 100% on the property when I get home. I've obviously told the wife that. She didn't question it, and I just said to her, about anything I've ever done, have I ever fucked up? And I haven't. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. So what's the worst that can happen? If it fails, I have to come back to work. I'm a contractor, so it's not like I'm leaving you know what I mean? I do what I want. So
yeah.
I'm just going to give it 100%.
Yeah, we're in a good position. I mean, we start last.
It does slow down. All right, we've got you guys, but there's not a lot I can do here. And it's not like work getting up doing property. It just isn't like work. Something I love. Something I've always loved doing it. So I can't wait to do it.
No, it's good. So before you formed these relationships that you obviously learned that you needed to do, so you've built this team around you now to be able to deliver this huge project. what beforehand you've done some properties in Redcar. You've done 2, is that right?
Lord Street? We've done 2. No, so we've done.
And how was that? How did you find that journey without that team? Because you didn't have that team then, did you?
It was horrendous,
brutal.
Well, we used the mortgage broker Chris Adlam we used for the refinance, but yeah, it was just insane, and I mean insane. It was obviously Mo was away quite a lot. My dad's just retired, so he sort of took a bit of a project management. He's very DIY. My dad worked graphs. I mean, we had a friend of ours, Taz, do the electrics. My dad was in, and he was like, "Your dad doesn't stop. What a grafter!" But my dad's retired. He's 64-year-old, and he was making himself ill. He was doing everything, and the problem is, he's a perfectionist. So he was going around sanding skirting boards and stuff, and it got silly. In the end, I had to tell him to stop. But without my dad, that wouldn't have happened. That job, but he'll never do it again. But dealing with individual subcontractors, plumbers, I'm not going to go into any details. It was a nightmare. And it wasn't. There was some. It was some nightmares. There was some. I mean, we give a guy a lot of leeway, and a lot of leeway, and he just completely took the pee. But yeah, it completed, and we made money off it. Do you know what I mean? It was a learning curve, and to be honest with you, although it was a nightmare, and again, my dad, I mean, he was ringing me up all the time. It got to the point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. It was just, he was heavily involved in it there. I was offshore, and I was getting phone calls. He can't make decisions on our money, so I was like, don't do this, do that, don't do this, do that, and it just got too much. However, I wouldn't change it because the stuff we learned from that was mega. Yeah, I mean mega. Do you know what I mean? Someone said to me years ago when I was doing safety, you only ever learn when things go wrong, and I think that's a brilliant way of looking at it. If things go perfect all the time, it's just a process. You just follow a process, tick it along. When things go wrong, you have to think outside the box, and so I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't do it again. I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
But no, like you say, well, what we're doing with you, we don't have to. We our job now is we got looking for finance, we got looking for deals. We use Lisa with the deal sourcing. We can spend having you guys on the development of the bill side gives us a chance to concentrate on the business. Yeah, so we need to look at the properties, look at the finance, do the due diligence, speak to solicitors, speak to brokers. Yeah. Now this part now is the easy bit for us. Yeah.
Yeah, it's where
to you.
I think that's the important thing, and I think a lot of people miss that is that where your strengths are, that's where your energy should go, you know. And the old adage of, I always get this mixed up wrong way around, but they say, energy flows where attention goes, doesn't it? So where is your energy and time best spent? Is it best spent on trying to manage a plumber, or is it best spent trying to raise finance and outsourcing that management of that plumber?
Yeah, exactly. I don't enjoy it. 100%. I don't enjoy the managing contractors side of it. I don't enjoy it.
We're like that with everything, aren't we, in life? You know, if it's something that I personally don't like in business, it's gone. I would never dream of trying to do my own VAT return or my own tax.
Well, I'm a complete control freak. Yeah, well, I'm a complete control freak, and I like to do everything, and that's been my biggest problem because I want to know everything, get involved in everything, and I got to the point. I can't think of what was said to me. I was like, well, what about this? What about that? And he said, look, why? I need to know. Why do you need to know when you pay an accountant thousands of pounds a year to do that?
Yeah.
Why, do you know what I mean? Why do I need to know? Yes, it's good to know little bits, but look, if you let him pay him to do his job, and then that's what I do. As long as you know a little bit of what he's doing, then you concentrate on your path, and you get so much more done. What's it? It's busy fool or something. There's a terminology for it, isn't there? Don't be a busy fool. And I think that's where you can. A lot of people do that to try and do everything. We don't need to.
It's valuing that level, isn't it, of what is things you actually want to do, and the stress levels as well. Because when you don't understand something, or it's natural to you, your stress levels go through the roof, and you take out the joy of working on that project.
Yeah, Marcus has just dropped
it's
a
like
comment
in
the box there. Look, it's the opposite of school where they make you work on your weaknesses. Why do that when you can outsource? And that's so true, isn't it? Yeah. You know, why would you work on something that you're weak at or that you don't enjoy? You know, for me, that's just a waste of time and energy.
I've just listened to a book called The One Thing, and that's what it goes on about. Instead of trying to multitask, just focus on one thing.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Well, it's like now, Paul. I mean, we complete today, right? And that build's going to be 5 months. I mean, that's going to be 5 months with a specialist company. So God knows how long it would take us. But if we weren't working with yourself, now that 5 month, we'd be coming into a 5 month nightmare, a busy schedule. Yeah, dealing with people on the phone. We don't need to do it now. I'm not even stressed over it. We hand the keys over to you guys. You go and do what you do. We obviously will be over there. After we can concentrate on turning up and doing some videos and updating the general public and branding a product. We don't need to stress. Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant. I don't know why anyone would do it any other way.
Yeah. I've got to say hello to Lucy there because she's done this thing. I've never ever done this in my life, so I'm going to do it now. Hello, Lucy. How are you? Yeah. So, looking back at that completion today, so you've got the program. You've got the program of works that we produce for you and issue to you, and we're going to be managing that program, and we've set within that program a sort of a meeting schedule and progress updates and things like that. Are you guys going to be happy to just sit on the end of an email, read and consume them reports and report back, or do you want to be intrinsically involved? Because the project's 2 hours away from you, So how often do you see yourself being on site physically and actually going to look at it, COVID aside?
It's funny you say this because I think once a month will be over. I'm going to come over next Thursday. Unfortunately, Steve's in Norway. But one thing COVID, the lockdown has taught us and others is you can run businesses from these meetings, from Teams meetings, from Skype, from emails, from phone calls. It's amazing what you can actually do. So why waste the fuel and the money to come over there? Do you know what I mean? You've got a very professional system. You don't just phone us and tell us what's going on. We've got a portal that we go on and it tells who's on site, are we a budget, there's photos, there's updates. Obviously we do speak daily anyway. But there's no reason for us to be there all the time. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if we need to be checking up on you. Do you know what I mean? We've done our due diligence on you, you've done it on us. It works, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, we will be over to brand it and to updates and stuff, but unless you want us there every day. Paul, I was off it. You want me every day, do you?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. No.
All I need is a
silence the WhatsApp as well.
Mate, the one thing that you'll find on a refurb job is when the client's on the way, it gets tidied up. You'll find that.
I'm a health and safety guy, and years ago there was a site I turn up for everyone would go once a week, and for the first 3 weeks, everyone would be on break, went at different times. Yeah, and I learned the manager said, right, safety guys coming, cup of tea. Yeah.
Quick, get that's what it's like when I go through the site. When I get there, I'll be like, where's everyone? Assume I'm like, I don't know, everyone's on tea break least.
Yeah. Chris Adams just come up with a comment there.
Yeah, it's good that there will be obstacles, there'll be doubters, there'll be mistakes, but with hard work there are no limits. Sounds a bit corporate, that, Chris. Is that your own, or have you?
I like it.
Yeah, it's all right. That, yeah.
Chris hasn't wrote that. Not a chance.
No, that's what I was thinking.
Right. Someone manages his Facebook. He hasn't wrote that.
Yeah, that's not his personal.
Yeah, all successful entrepreneurs leverage themselves through getting the right expertise, building relationships with the right people way forward. Yeah, definitely, Steve. Definitely.
I did a property course years ago, and I was a proper. I did it because I seen people doing well, and I thought, I want money. I want to do well. And for the first few days, some of the stuff that was coming out was just like, what a lot of crap. But the word power team used to make me cringe. What are you talking about? Right? And I tell you what, it's massive.
Yeah. We'll come up with a different word for it. What should we call it? Let's have a different word. We'll invent that later.
Muckers.
Yeah.
No, but power. It's massive. It's having the right people around you is it's insane. What you can trust.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's building that personal network, isn't it? Should we call it that?
Personal network. Yeah.
That's one thing that I used to think was.
I love power team. I love the 7OG power team.
You just said you like it.
Oh, when I first started, it used to grind on me, but it's good.
Yeah,
power team. I like it. But no, having the right people around you is massive. It's massive. And like Chris said, there's no limits. Do you know what I mean? Last time we were saying, we were like, well, what's he going to ask? What should we say? And we were like, just be, I'll just be honest, you know what I mean? But we started the company up in March 18, and we didn't actually get our first property till August 19. Yeah. And there's a lot of times we would have give up. Yeah, we did a bit of mindset training. Again, I won't go into that because I thought that was a load of shit. And it isn't. It's absolutely life-changing. And we just, I would have, if I hadn't done that, I would have given up. I'd have said, this isn't working. We've had a company over here, nothing's happening. But then since August, last year, since late August, we've had 3 buy-to-lets go through, 2 of our own on the JV, and now we're doing a £250,000 job. So for anyone else who's in that same position, just keep at it. Because it suddenly, I was saying to Matthew Edmondson the other day, like, what are you doing and that? And he said, oh yeah, just in that, and obviously working away. I said, look, mate, we were the same. And it comes, it's just insane. I mean, we're already looking at another, this one, we've got the keys today. We were talking to Lisa about a job the same size, if not bigger. Yesterday, we haven't even started this one yet. It honestly it just comes, and it's mental. It takes over your life. It's brilliant. Steve's obviously been a landlord. He's worked away a lot longer than me. And I've got financial commitments. I get married next year and stuff. But I had a conversation last night, and I went through all my bills, etc., and what I can put down. And I'm 40 next year, and I'm seriously looking at my 40th birthday. That's me. I'm not working away again. And I was a late starter. Like, you've got doggy years. In working years, I didn't really have a proper job till I was 26-year-old. So in working years, I'm still a young lad. You know what I mean? I've only really worked for 10 years solid. So
being able to say,
I think you need to get the VAT on that, Bookie.
So
I think lockdown for me, I think it's made me realise how much I actually need, which is why it's pushed me into giving property a go full time. Just delayed gratification, I think's the term, isn't it?
Yeah. I think we realise that as well. You know, you don't need all the expensive things that you think you need.
Yeah, it sounds a bit cliche to say that money doesn't bring you happiness, but it really fucking doesn't.
It's absolutely 100% true. Yeah. I'm going to live. I'm going to live like a monk. I'm almost there anyway. I've got the little monk.
Just going to say that.
I'll live like a monk for as long as it takes to be able to stay up. That's what made me happy, being away a lot, and then with lockdown, I had 8-9 weeks at home with the family. And to be fair, I got on with my wife better than we have for a long, which is madness.
Yeah, we're the same. That's what we've said.
I was going to come back to work. So.
Initially, it was like, I'm going to be home for a few months. Oh my God. I mean, this is the longest I've been at home in 11 years now. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And obviously she's got her routine. She's got things she does. And I was like, oh my God. And like they say, we've like, more minimal. We've had a couple of debates, but nothing serious. And I said, look, it's time. I need to come home. Do you know what I mean? It's no good. My problem is I like expensive cars and I like expensive things. And I have been looking at a new car, but I've taught myself I'm going to keep the ones we've got, and I'm going to.
You know, there's nothing wrong with liking expensive things. It's just about acknowledging and recognizing that they don't bring you happiness. They just don't.
Yeah.
You know, they'll make you feel good for a little while, but
nice
you know,
cars,
I saw a post on Facebook the other day. Someone set a goal to own a green Lamborghini by whatever time period it was. I forget. And I was looking at it thinking, why the fuck do you want a green Lamborghini? For what reason do you want this crazy car? You can't fucking drive anywhere. You're too big to get in, and you can't get out of it. You can't put your shopping in. You can't put your tools in the back. It was, and I was thinking, fucking honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah. But you know, if that's your goal, that's your goal. But just know that won't bring will not bring happiness. It won't. No way.
Yeah.
So we're getting on. We've gone on long enough. So if I was an investor now watching this and watching what you guys were up to, how would I get in touch with you?
Through Facebook's probably the best way. I mean, we've got obviously phone numbers and our company email and stuff, but people who are watching this are on Facebook, so feel free to drop us a message on Messenger, and we'll get back to you. Like you said, the project we've got now is fully financed. Yeah, we've actually got to a point where, like you said, when we did Cam's course, we were looking at, we need investors, we need this, and we couldn't. We were like, how are we going to get that? No one's going to give us that amount of money. We've actually turned people down for this project now. That's how crazy it's gone. So we've actually been turning people down. But now, like I say, we're in talks releasing about another project, which will need around the same. So, yeah, if you're interested, please contact us and we can give you some details on that.
So if I was an investor, which one have you been speaking to? Steve, yeah?
Go to Steve, yeah. Go to Steve.
Yeah, do you want to share your number, Steve?
Yeah, 077 259 83202.
Is that it?
That's it, mate. Yeah.
Sam, Steve Moses, there you go. So anybody wanting to get involved in any projects like that with these guys, obviously you've heard how driven they are and how persistent that they are. Going to offer you a great return on your investment, on your money. Do get in touch. There's his number. Take it down. And we are going to call that a day there, unless you've got anything else to ask us or anybody's got anything to ask the lads. There's 2 more comments there. Showing your age there, Steve. It's an old man's game, that.
Wasting a good walk, that.
It is, yeah, you're right, yeah.
I'll have a good call for you, Steve.
Yeah. Right, great to see you, lad. We'll
fantastic.
speak to you very soon.
Thanks, guys.
Nice one.
We'll get in there.
Brilliant.
Nice one.
Cheers.
See you later.
Catch you later.
See you later, lads. Ta-ra.
See you later. Bye.